do, what it do, what it do. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Run the Receipts. I am your host, Mr. Receipts. Today we're going to take a look at a video from Students for Life of America titled Mobbed by 300 Pro Aborts. We're going to take a look at this and then we'll do some commentary on it.
I'm not a woman, so I shouldn't speak on how women feel.
So how does a woman get pregnant?
A man have sex with her.
Yeah, so a man is involved in getting a woman pregnant. Don't you think a man should be involved in what happens to his child?
Now, right off the rip, I don't understand when men say these things. And I blame a lot of this on fathers not being involved in their sons' lives, or fathers not teaching both the son and the daughter the importance of a man, because a man is the one who actually carries life. He carries the seed of the child, so he has every bit of a right to decide what happens to his child. Now, the first thing that I would tell any man is you better be mindful of the woman that you are laying down with, because she may not have the same values as you do, unless you're one of these kids who, these young men who are out here just slanging your wood everywhere, and you would pay a woman $300 or $400 anyway, to have an abortion. I'm not talking about those men. And for you women who care about life and want family and relationships and a man to love you and to value and take care of you, I would highly advise you to stay away from those type of men as well. So for a man to sit here and say that it's a woman's body, it's a shame, because what if she decides to keep the child and then put you on child support? Are you going to tell the judge, hey, I didn't want anything to do with this baby? Matter of fact, I gave her some money to abort the child and she decided to keep it. Judge don't care about that. You're going to be paying for the next 18 years. And if you decide not to pay, we all know how, as a man, that can ruin your life. If there's a woman who's pregnant and a man murders this woman who's pregnant, he gets charged with double homicide. So men saying, it's not my body and it's not my choice. Yeah, but you would have to pay for the repercussions of anything to do with that woman if she decides to keep that baby, or if you harmed her and the baby.
The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office is now investigating the death of this pregnant woman and her unborn son over the weekend as murders.
Initially, the Sheriff's Office announced they suspected foul play. Today, News 4 Jax confirmed their deaths are now being investigated as murders.
Because she is carrying a child on the inside of her, that's another life, another human being. If she dies as a result of what the suspects did to her, shooting her, stabbing her, whatever manner of death it was, then that person will be charged with a double murder.
And this is Julia Maupin, just 24 years old, more than 7 months pregnant with her first child.
He took and killed my grandbaby, my grandson.
According to the prosecutor and court documents, Julia's husband, 21-year-old John Maupin, a soldier at JBLM, and seen here in court, stands accused in his wife's death. The prosecutors confirmed Julia's baby died too.
I'm asking you, please, 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 on behalf of the unborn child, can we please do something about this here?
The police are frustrated after another tragedy in Harrisburg, this time taking the life of a 19-year-old and her unborn child. Thanks for being with us there at 5 o'clock. I'm Joel D. Smith. There is Jasmine Brooks. She is anchoring our live team coverage from outside the police headquarters today, where we've just learned some new information as well. Jasmine, take it away.
Yes, it was just hours ago where police gave us that update. We now know that Tamisha Miller was pregnant with her unborn child. The district attorney telling CBS 21 this case would be prosecuted as a double homicide.
So you better have some say-so in these equations. So again, I blame the father, and I also blame the mothers because let's just be honest, especially in the Black community, 70% of relationships or children, the father's not around anyway. So the mother's the one who's going to have to raise this son or this daughter. And I get tired in society where women will say, well, I had to do it by myself, and where's the man, and they wasn't involved. Well, if you was with a man and you had a baby and the father passed away, you would still have to take care of that child. You would still have to be responsible for that child. So it's an excuse to be like, well, there was no man around. Number one, you better be mindful of the man that you choose. And number two, that's still no excuse for you not raising your son or your daughter the way that you're supposed to. And especially how we come up and we always complain about how there was no man in the house, or there was things that you didn't like in your household that you seen growing up as a youth, whether it be a single parent or your parents. So when you become of age and you start to have children, if you don't want things to be the same way as it was for you growing up, do different, be better, make better decisions, do something different that will help your child so they don't end up having to grow up and be just like you. Let's continue.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a child until, I don't think it's a child when somebody just gets pregnant.
Okay, when do you think it's a child?
Maybe like trimester 3.
Trimester 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the 3rd trimester, the baby's already fully viable. This is a baby in the late 2nd trimester. They can survive outside the womb. So are you okay with killing babies at this stage at 22 weeks?
Yes.
You are okay?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Even though they are able to survive outside the womb?
Yes, I.
So notice the word that she used. She used the word kill. So you okay with killing the baby? And he said, yes, I'm okay with killing. Some of these people are just straight up murderers. Let's just call it what it is. Some of these people are straight up murderers. And again, as I look at this young man, it's his parents' fault. Ain't no way he should make it up, make it to college. And this is his mindset. This is his thoughts when it comes to another life. I blame whoever raised this young man or the lack thereof.
Trimester 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the 3rd trimester, the baby's already fully viable. This is a baby in the late 2nd trimester. They can survive outside the womb. So are you okay with killing babies at this stage at 22 weeks?
Yes.
You are okay?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Even though they are able to survive outside the womb?
Yes, I am.
So what if they're outside the womb? Are you okay with killing them then? It's the same baby at the same development.
I don't have.
So notice he didn't answer that question. And it's an excellent question. So if the baby's in the stomach, you can kill the baby. But if that same baby comes out of the womb and it can survive on its own, would you still kill it? Because it can survive now. So if it can survive out on its own, then why would you murder this child in the womb? Make it make sense.
For saying it because it's not my baby. It's not my body. So
It's not your baby or it's not your body?
It's not my body.
But do you see how that's problematic to say that it's okay to end this child's life when it's in the womb, but...
And I'm gonna say something again because he's like, it's not my body. That child came out of your scrotum. That child came out of you. Like you're wasting your seed. You're wasting your sperm. You're gonna spill your seed in a woman, and that child you've created, that child has DNA coming from you, and you gonna sit there and tell a woman, yeah, go ahead and murder my child. That is crazy to me. You're sharing DNA with this baby. This baby gonna look like you, have the same attributes as you, the same mannerisms, the same behavior, the same all that, walking and talking. That's why a lot of people be like, man, he look just like his daddy, man. He sound just like his daddy. Your seed is supposed to be a representative of you when it gets older, that you continue to live on. Your legacy lives on. Your attributes live on. When they see your child, they remember you. They think about you. And you spill the seed in a woman, and then all of a sudden you just think it's only up to her to murder or to choose life. You think it's just up to her to decide that, and you back out of it? That's some feminine stuff, man, to just put all the onus on a woman. And I'll tell you, most women are immature. Most women out there shouldn't even have children. And I'm a firm believer that anybody that believes in abortion, or any person who has had an abortion, I believe that they should not have children. And I believe that they should not be unsupervised if they do have children. And I believe if you've had an abortion and then, you have children down the line, if you leave that man should automatically be able to take those children because you've already murdered before. And you're not going to convince me that women who have abortions and are okay with murdering children, You're not gonna tell me that you love your kids. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe it, and you're never gonna be able to convince me that you can walk in the clinic, murder a baby, and then have a second or a third or whatever, and you gonna have unconditional love for that child. You'll never be able to tell me that you do.
And then it's the same baby at the same development.
I don't have a say in it because it's not my baby. You know, it's not my body, so
It's not your baby or it's not your body.
it's not my body.
But do you see how that's problematic to say that it's okay to end this child's life when it's in the womb, but not when it's outside of the womb?
No,
No, it's not.
No, I don't see it as
this baby
problematic.
is fully alive. It can breathe outside of the womb. It has fingers, toes. It's scientifically alive. Why is it okay to kill?
because if you wanted to, I'm not gonna lie.
Because if you wanted to kill a baby, it's okay.
You see that? His only answer is if you wanted to. And people are going to hear this and they're going to get mad at me, but I expect a female to say some stuff like that. A lot of these men are moving around like they're women. They're not going to be leaders of the community talking and acting like that. And if you allow women to be in the forefront, you allow women to be the defenders of the universe, you're in trouble. And the fact that you see these men take a back seat to women and leave it to women, that's why the world is turned upside down, because we left the choices and all the decisions for women to make. And it's only going to be a few women that have common sense. And I'm pretty sure I can go out on a limb and say that this woman has a husband. She has a hedge over her. And I'm telling you now, it's usually the women who are married or have some kind of leadership in their life. Those are the ones who have logic and reasoning. A lot of these other women who are out here left in themselves and they have no man and nobody to teach them and nobody to show them anything, you're more inclined for them to be the ones who speak and act as if murder is okay. And then you have men, soft men, who follow behind these women and are led by women. And a lot of these times, the men who are being led by women, they grow up in single mother households.
Yeah, you.
Do you have a medical degree? That is my question.
I don't need a medical degree to know that.
Look at the dude with the orange hair right here. You got all these masculine women talking and yelling and screaming, and he's sitting here nodding his head, and he's being led by these women. We are in trouble. And I keep trying to tell people, man, the world is flipped upside down because we have allowed women to be in leadership positions and we've allowed women to make the decisions. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with Shahrazad Ali, but before I knew who she was, I said this some years back.
This is what you have to remember. The average black woman in America don't get no older than about 14. So just talk to her and deal with her like you dealing with a 14-year-old. Don't come at her like you dealing with an equal, because she's not going to be able to accept that. You got to go way back. And we cut off at about 14 or 15. We don't develop and mature no further until we get some new information and accept some different information.
That women don't reach a maturity level past 18 years old. Once they reach 18 years old, their mindset has already been, it's already where it's going to be at 18 years. Shahrazad Ali said like 14 years old. She says that women don't reach maturity level past 14 years old, which says they need to be led. And, you know, in that 14-year span, someone has to put a certain level of information inside of these women because they are going to be who they are for the most part. That's also why I tell men, hey, be careful, man, because, you know, if you get with a woman and she's in her late 20s, you know, early 30s, and she's had so many experiences in life, for the most part, most women, they're set. They are who they are. Their mindset is what it is. And it's going to be very difficult for you to sit there and put your input and imprint inside of these women when they've already had so many other men or people in general do it before you did. So it's going to be hard for you to now take all that information out and then put your information in there. It's damn near impossible. When you have these women talking like this and then there's nobody to stop them, you're in trouble because it's going to be hard pressed. And these women one day they're gonna want to be someone's wife in their mind, because it's just nature. They're gonna want a family and all that, but their actions are masculine. So they're gonna talk like a man, they're gonna act like a man, they're gonna be feisty like a man, they're gonna be aggressive like a man, they're gonna be loud like a man, they're gonna be in your face like a man, and you're gonna be confused because they soft and they pretty and they smell good and you like them and you want a wife too, but you gonna be the female in the relationship, and then you're gonna have to bend the knee to this woman.
That's not happening, because it is.
I don't need a medical degree to know that killing babies is wrong and harmful.
Because of this overturn, that doctors are scared to do their job, and you're talking about the doctors who were bad doctors. Rather, they're not thinking about the woman's life anymore for that needed abortion, but they're worried about their own license now because of this overturn.
So I want to read the Texas pro-life law directly to you right now. It says in section 171, there is an exception for medical emergency. Sections 171, which talks about the entire pro-life law banning abortion, do not apply if a physician believes a medical emergency exists that prevents compliance with the subchapter. So I think that's very clear that if there's a medical emergency, if the doctor determines that, then they can end the pregnancy, they can do the intervention. If they're not,
And that's always been the case. So if there's some kind of medical emergency and you actually need help, the doctors will get the help that you need. The doctors will take care of you. And just like she's about to say, if your doctor's incompetent, then they shouldn't be a doctor to begin with. They should have their license revoked. But if you go inside of a hospital and they see that you need medical care, even though you're pregnant and that decision has to be made, then they'll make that decision. But that's only in the case of an emergency, something that's necessary, not just to go in there because, you don't feel like taking care of a child. Let's continue.
not then they're a bad doctor. If your doctor doesn't understand a medical emergency, then they should not be a doctor. That's it. The law is very clear. I'm advocating to give health care to all human beings, born and preborn. I am advocating to give health care to all human beings. No, abortion, if your health care is killing people, it is not health care.
So they don't even care about someone even offering health care for you and that child. They just want to have the right to murder. And that's evil. It would make more sense if someone says, yeah, well, I had an abortion because I didn't have the health care. I didn't have the medical help that I need. I didn't have, the resources that I need. But they're being offered the resources, and that's irrelevant to them. They just want to be able to be irresponsible, have a train ran on them, have an orgy or a one-night stand, or any of these things, whatever the case may be, get pregnant and then just be able to off the child with no responsibility. And it's crazy, man, how women can murder a child. It doesn't sit well with me, the fact that a woman can murder a child and get away with it. Like, if a man is to commit any type of murder, he's going to prison. He's going to prison. But a woman can walk in a clinic with a baby in her womb, murder the baby, and then walk out into society and nothing happens. Nothing happens. A woman can be on her way to the abortion clinic, and if a man walks by and punches her in the stomach, he's going to prison for murder. It's crazy.
Why do you think that everybody has to follow I think that everybody is Christian. That you don't have the autonomy to tell everybody how to be.
You do not have to be a Christian to know that killing children is wrong.
Everybody is Christian. Not everybody's going to see like.
And what's crazy is somebody's gonna sleep with this girl if they haven't already. This manly woman, somebody's gonna lay with her and drop his seed in her, and she's either going to abort the baby or she's gonna ruin that man's life. She's gonna keep that child and she's gonna ruin that man's life. And I say good, ruin that man's life. So, cause anybody that lays with this woman or any of these masculine women, they're a moron. Matter of fact, let the dude in the orange hair behind her, let them have a baby together. Ruin his life.
You don't have to be a Christian. It's
But
science.
who do you think that you are to tell everybody else how they should think?
I think absolutely we should be telling people it is wrong to kill innocent human beings. Why does your ability to live without your mother determine your value?
Because at that point it's a parasite and not an actual.
No, actually, in order to be a parasite, you have to be two things. You have to be a different species from your host, and you have.
Literally a parasite.
You have to be a different species from your host. I don't care like what you guys believe. No matter what, if you get two human beings together to reproduce, you cannot reproduce anything other than a human being. Number two, in order to be a parasite, you have to be actively harming your host. And in pregnancy, I don't know about the ladies out there, but our uteruses do not exist for just us.
Virginia is a blue state. We don't want you here.
Okay.
We already voted against all of this.
And Trump
We
won,
don't want
so.
you here.
Look at these docile men right next to her. And then you got the cheerleader man in the back who no one is going to give him the time of day anyway. So I don't know why he's back there cheerleading for these women. These women are using these men to get what they need.
To, Black girls in our experience as well.
Say absolutely. There is an underrepresentation of us protesting, voicing our frustration, and sometimes rioting for the rights of Black women who've been suffering right along with the brothers, as well as putting up and pushing us forward to the forefront so often. It's like I have a daughter, and I'm laying it all on the line for her, my mom, my sister, my aunts, you, and Black women matter. And, that trend needs to be there. It's like while we say Black lives matter, Black women matter. That needs to push forward.
When you go through the history of the forefathers in the Bible, they tell you that women don't have the power that a man does. So they use other wiles like their beauty, they use crying, they use lying, they use these type of methods to convince men to do their bid, to do their dirty work. And these men have not figured this out yet. And shame on their fathers, if their fathers were active in their lives, for not teaching them these things about these women.
You're not welcome.
Okay.
Get off campus. Get off campus.
It's the loving leftist people, clearly. There's a man over here that's been yelling degrading insults at me because clearly the pro-abortion movement is so pro-women.
You're sitting here going, well, guess what? Trump won. When something bad happens to you and you don't have access to what you need, I don't want your cakey ass face saying shit about it.
You see the disrespect? She's calling her the B word. She don't even know this woman. You see the disrespect? And again, I don't believe in abortions of any kind. So I will say this about Trump. Obviously, he has to do it, to get in office. He has to appease to these people on some level. But for her to even sit here and say, well, when Trump come into office, and if you need any type of, care, you're not going to get it. Well, first off, again, I would believe that this woman is married. And if her and her husband has a child, getting abortion or taking a plan B is not something that they are even considering. So you're just basically wishing evil on someone. And that's the same murder spirit as someone who agrees with abortion. If you always pay attention to the things that they say and their actions, they're always wishing harm on somebody. It's like when a dog tastes blood. Once he tastes blood, there's no coming back from that. So when these women have this murder spirit on them, they're always going to wish harm on somebody else. They're always going to wish evil on somebody else. And if they could harm you in that moment and get away with it, they would. But these are the same people that are upset and they feel like they're victims, but they are the most aggressive and evil one out of anybody. Just pay attention to the things that they say. So this woman don't even know her and she's wishing evil upon her.
What are you trying to say right now?
Your makeup's fucked up. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You fakey bitch.
So are you calling yourself pro-women and then making insults towards women? I would never say something like that.
I'm pro-women that are fucking smart.
I am pro all women. I am pro all women, whether they're born or pre-born. Okay, go ahead.
Be careful, brothers. These women are in masses, and these women will ruin your life. These women will murder your child. These women will wish evil on you. These women will call the cops on you. These women will have you thrown in jail. These women will put you on child support. These women will ruin your life. So you can sit back now if you want to and kiki and laugh and be entertained by these women. But I guarantee you, these women don't give a dang about you. And these women will ruin your life. You better take heed. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And until next time, deuces.